Hello, everybody. My name is Janet Collins. I am a U.S. Army veteran, served from 78 to 82. When I got out of the Army, I caught up with my family. They had moved to Fort Wayne by then. I got a little job in a print shop and a little efficiency apartment and, settled back down to civilian life. At one point, working in the print shop, a kitten showed up at the back door, and my coworker took the kitten in. She asked if I wanted her, and I took one look at the kitten. She took a look at me, and it was a done deal. I took her home with me on the bus that day. My coworker wanted to call her Copycat because every print shop had a mouser, but I named her Phoebe, as in fish is my favorite perfume. Phoebe was a fearless kitten, and right from the start, she was up to all kinds of things. One time in my efficiency apartment, we got a bat in the building. It was an old building. Things got in, and I woke up one night, there was a bat flying back and forth overhead, and I'm running, frightened, to hide in the walk-in closet. Well, she's running back and forth, jumping in the air, trying to catch the thing. And when she realizes that I ran and hid, she's like, oh, I'm supposed to be afraid? And she ran and hid in the closet with me. Eventually, I moved to another apartment. She had a litter of kittens. I remember her catching a mouse and teaching her kitten how to mouse. She was standing by and making sure that that mouse didn't get away while the kitten did the running after it. I moved into a different apartment, and it was a second floor of a duplex in an old house. I had a little balcony out there, and she would get up onto the roof, and I would go out and see her like 3 rooftops down. And she would play in the rooftops all day long. So Phoebe was my friend, my companion. I didn't think of her as my baby. I thought of her as a friend and as an actualized being. Eventually, I met my husband to be, his name is Randy, and he decided that Phoebe needed disciplined. He just didn't get the relationship we had, and I had to say, look, she predates you by 5 years, Buster. So don't make me choose. We eventually bought a house together, and we had beautiful wooded lots. Everybody in the whole neighborhood, if you took down the fences, there'd be like a whole forest out back. And Phoebe loved living there. She was an indoor-outdoor cat back in the days when that was okay, because it's not okay now. I figured she was safe. She was fearless. She hunted everything, birds, chipmunks, grasshoppers, anything that moved, she was out there getting. And she also became queen of the neighborhood. She liked to pick on the dog next door. She'd go over when the dog was inside, and there was a little beagle named Molly. And she would leave her scent around the patio and then come back to our side of the fence and wait for Molly to be let out. And Molly would smell that she had been there and come to the fence and bark and bark and bark and bark. And Phoebe would just sit there and wash her face nonchalantly. She also liked to go across the street where a family of groundhogs had taken up residence, and she messed with them. So she was queen of the neighborhood, but she was always in at nighttime. I made sure of that. So one evening, she is sitting in the windowsill, a big picture window we had in the back of the house that looked out on our wooded yard. She's lost in reverie when an owl came swooping down, not seeing that there was a window between itself and that cat not paying attention, swooped down and slammed into the screen, and Phoebe flew across the room, her feet never touching the ground. My husband, Randy, went to open the door and look outside, and she went hysterical. She was afraid when he opened the door that he was going to let it in. So She's not allowed to be on the dining room table, but she sat on that table and watched vigil for that owl for the rest of the night, and I let her do it. I knew that was something that she had to do. From that point on, she didn't go out for quite a while, and then when she did, she would catch her prey very quickly and bring it inside, sometimes to play it to death and kill it, and I really didn't appreciate that. So I would try to catch her at the door before she brought anything in, and have her leave it outside. About that time, we took in a puppy, and we were potty training it. Now, one morning, I got up, and what I did in the morning usually was whisk the puppy out of its crate and get it outside as quickly as possible. So as I was doing that, taking the dog out, she came flying through the door, past the puppy with a chipmunk in her mouth. And I'm trying to figure out whether I need to do the puppy, take care of the puppy, or run after her. And I eventually look over and I see that the pup has already lost it on the garage floor. It's too late to take care of that one. And I went inside, the puppy's at my heels, and we round the corner, and there was Phoebe trying to catch a chipmunk that had got away. It was jumping up and down in a random pattern to try to prevent recapture. Well, when me and the dog rounded the corner, we distracted Phoebe, she lost control of the situation, and the chipmunk got away. So I'm looking around the room in every corner and crevice under everything, trying to find that poor chipmunk. And the thing is unable to comprehend that I'm trying to do it a mercy here. And I never did find it, at least not then. And an hour later, I found it, gutted on the bathroom floor. Excuse me. It took many years for her to get used to going back outside and doing her business out there. She lost all of her confidence when that happened, and it was kind of a sad thing. She never had any use for my husband. Because he had tried to discipline her when she was just a kitten. And he had not grown up around cats. But my dear Phoebe lived to be 18 years old. And one day, towards the end, I came home from work and my husband said, "You know what? Phoebe came up and meowed at me, and I understood what she said." He was blown away. And I knew what she had said to him. She said, "It's cold in here. Would you, for crying out loud, turn up the heat?" That's my story.